I was on the other side.
I know. I never said you guys. I don't think anymore.
This is probably going to be really disappointing to you, but I know just enough Spanish to get me in a lot of trouble. And I studied it not only like in high school, you have to take like
but you're
Spanish
Italian,
or whatever.
so you know. I mean, I'm sure
it's like ish, right? Yeah, it's like ish. And I took it in college too. And I went up through like Spanish 4, I believe. College was a long time ago. So
how old are you now?
For me, oh God.
I know you said you were older, but you don't look older.
Really? Oh, girl, keep talking to me.
It's like, so if I could guess, I want to say my age or a little bit younger.
So I'm 28 right now. I'll turn 29th on March 11th if anybody wants to send me birthday
gifts. Oh, no, you're a baby girl.
What
Take
the fuck?
Enjoy it.
What do you mean?
I'm 33.
There's no way.
Yeah.
You don't have a single gray hair at all.
I've been, I'm pretty sure I got it colored recently, like a few months ago.
Okay, because
But you look like pretty for, without, you don't look like you wear makeup or like need to,
Oh, yeah, no, I try to only wear eye makeup because
so
sometimes I look a little pale.
No, but you'll get wrinkles if you do. Because you just when you take it off, you're like wiping your face and stuff like that. But anyways.
I laugh a lot. Like I'm a real, I used to say I'm a stand-up comic to people, when I'd make jokes and stuff and I'd get them to laugh. But I laugh a lot, so I know I low-key got I'll get those first. I'll hands down.
So what do you do now?
So right now I'm not working. I've been blessed to be financially able to take the time off to heal from my foot. I had a bunion on my foot, which I know makes me sound like I'm ancient. So they broke my foot at the ankle.
How do you get a bunion? Is it from wearing heels?
No, it's just some people just get them naturally. Okay. It's just the pressure that you put on your foot. And the doctor had told me that it could have been because I got so large while I was pregnant with both my kids. I gained 100 pounds each time I got pregnant. And most of it was water weight. I was really sick when I was pregnant.
You look great though,
Thank
for someone
you.
who had kids.
Thank you. And I've been bedbound for the last 3 months too. So normally I'm a lot more snatched, but it's been hard because I was bedbound after they broke my foot and did the thing.
What a small world.
Yeah, right. When you said that, I was like, get out. I know. I didn't know that you knew him from all the way before.
No, I knew. So me and my Spanish team are super reckless at the time because we were new to Columbus at that time. Right. So we did at least 2 to 3 months of training for no reason, because they didn't know what to do with us yet. We didn't even have a manager for a long time. So we would sit with that person that I mentioned for a long time, just talking shit the whole time right there because we didn't know what else to do, so we were just chilling the whole time for getting paid for it. So
oh my goodness.
So that's how I knew that person. And then eventually we got into our teams, worked, blah blah blah, and I realized some people were promoted to management. And then when the mortgage
Y'all want me to make a pizza?
No, I'm not gonna eat. I'm gonna go soon. Okay. But once the mortgage world turned, obviously, to where the rates were up and got really bad, we got laid off, especially Branch because we didn't need us anymore. And that's how I ended up meeting Festus at Quantum Health. But so I knew a lot of people, but I've been at Chase for 12 years.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So I've been in the executive office. I've been in collections. I've been in mortgage, the help part where they did modifications and shit. It's collections, all that stuff. And then I ended up in sales eventually. So that's how that happened. They literally were like, "Do you speak Spanish?" Yeah, that was it. Went in.
Extra money, yeah, for sure.
But they didn't do a test. Now they do tests.
Do they really? So my connection, I guess, with that Spanish team is I was when I first started and you're in training, I forget what they call it, but they have a name for it or whatever.
I forgot what it was too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's academy or something like that.
Oh yeah.
You have to go through all the
academy, whatever.
So I was butted up to the bilingual team, and there was this guy, and for the life of me, I really wish I remember his name.
Was it on the other side of the...
Yeah, on the other side, because they were all over here.
I know.
We were all on the...
Carlos, Jose Luis.
Jose Luis!
He's really good.
Yes. Oh my goodness, he was my favorite, and he helped me a lot. He would sit behind... He sat a couple desks behind me. And, obviously everybody else was in the academy and they didn't know what they were doing. Okay. And I would get stuck on something and he would come over and we were kind of cool because not only he's a cool fucking dude, right? He's just cool. And, we spoke a little bit, just enough Spanish that I feel like he felt like I tried to like respect him by speaking as much Spanish as I could to him when I could, and he would come over if he would see I was struggling and he'd help me. And I really,
he's super helpful.
He's such a good dude.
He's so helpful. The Spanish team, like, especially the guys, were super, super, super nice.
Right. They were so nice.
Yeah, they're
like,
so
they
nice.
really made me feel like super well. I like, to that point, like, I really like love Hispanic people in general because I feel like they just have that really warm, like, and I worked in like kitchens and stuff, and I was like the manager, so I'm like managing all that, and we'd go and eat like enchiladas in the back and this and that. So through my life, I've always had this theme of like really being welcomed by that community, and it's like really like meant a lot to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's cool though. I can't believe how small of a world this is.
So small.
No, and that's why I don't like the dating pool in Columbus. I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't mind dating. It's just hard. I'm like a hard dater. Like, I gotta ask these questions, and I obviously that's it. Like, you just filter them out. You're like that. Like I said, like you find out like where are they in life, when their last relationship was. Like this last guy who's really, really sweet. He told me I've been broken up with my girlfriend for 4 years. Great, that's awesome. But I do require men to wear condoms. I do require men to be like, not have like, to like be purely single, because there are crazy ass bitches out there. Like I mentioned, like that one girl who I wanted to, but she was like one of those people who were like hanging on like for no reason. Like some girls are like so delusional that you say something to them and they'll like hold on to that for dear life because they really want to like something for them, And those types of desperate, like, I feel like if you end up in that type of situation, you don't care about yourself. You don't care about your family. You don't care about yourself. Like, have, like, some type of discipline with who you deal with, like, in general. Like, and it's hard to find people like that. But I feel good. I feel like being single is a privilege, if that's a good way to put it, because like when I did have that guy who's like texting me and calling me every day, I'm like, no, I'd rather, like, I kind of want to just spend time with my kid, and stuff like that. So I feel happy spending time with my daughter and not having to worry about dealing with a guy or whatever. And I'm okay with that. And I actually decided that I'm going to wait till I'm 50 to 60 years old to marry, because all these motherfuckers will already have made their mistakes and have self-awareness and decide what they want. Most guys, I think our generation still are looking for themselves, still don't know what they want, are still kind of in limbo. They don't know if they want their ex or to move on, So I'm like, let me just wait till they're like totally like, fuck, I've already been through the ringer. I'm done with this situation. I already know myself. I know what I want. And they're like light as green. And it really is a timing situation. I think some people are like, I personally just want at least minimum, like the first thing is they're light to be green. Like, I'm ready to date. And then that's first and foremost. Everything else I feel like even flaws I can deal with. But it's like when your light is not green and you're stuck on your ex or stuck on a situation, it's like you're really like that's like something I don't really want to deal with. Like, I already know that's messy. And a lot of people, even myself, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I do, like, still, make sure my ex is okay sometimes, but not to the degree where I have to message him every day or anything like that. But, like, we're always, like, you said you're always going to have love for the person that you had kids with, especially. Yeah. That's, like, I think if somebody would not understand that you're always going to have that communication, like, that's a super red flag. Right. Somebody who's like, oh, why are you talking to your baby dad? Okay, well, because he's the father of my child. Like, what else do you want me to say to you about this? Like, he has I care about him as a human being. Exactly. Like, he is, especially if they're involved.
Oh yeah, and you've mentioned that he's really involved. Yeah, same here. Like, where he's the coach of all their sports teams. He's like literally the best dad you could ever ask for.
Right. If they weren't involved, I'd be like, okay, yeah, whatever about his opinion. But like,
you have to respect that.
There are a lot of men don't stick around, for the kid, or even when you're pregnant. My mom and my sister used to say that, and I used to be like, that's minimum. He should stick around because I had but they'd be like, you should be lucky. I'm like, no, he's lucky. I'm just kidding.
Well, girl, he is lucky if he's with you. Am I right, internet? Drop the comments below.
No, but I mean, not for nothing. I didn't I think that you realize how great of a woman you are when you give yourself that time and that space. And then you're like, oh shit, like I am this great. Because I think there are more good women than there are. I'm sorry to say this, but there are more good women out there than good men, if that's a good way to put it. I feel like there's like a plethora of women who are willing to do it all. Like a lot of women. And there are a lot of women who are also like, I want him to make 6 figures.
Right. I'm stuck on that.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
I mean, they don't even realize what 6 figures comes with. It comes with loneliness sometimes. It comes with, you know, a guy who doesn't want to deal with you emotionally. You know, it comes with a guy who doesn't want to be around the family, you know. There are some, but in both ways, there are good guys. There are a lot of good guys. You just have to be really good at recognizing what that is, you know, or what that looks like. And I feel like you also have to be a good woman to that degree. Like some women are like, I only want him to be a good guy and have money, and they don't fix themselves. You know, they don't fix their attitude. They don't fix their, like the way they are. And I had to do a lot. I'm going to say I'm the biggest culprit of that because I'm a crazy ass, drunk ass sometimes. And I remember 2 weekends ago, and I even messaged that person. I was like, I'm sorry, I was crazy. It's okay, you don't want to talk to me anymore, I get it.
Well, you know, to that point, though, it's beautiful that you have that kind of self-reflection.
No, yeah,
and if that person's not gonna, like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like we just said, like, everybody's got a flaw or two, man. Yeah. And if you can, like, be like, oh, man, like, I mess up there or whatever, and, like, put that out there, that's, like, a huge sign of, like, maturity, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get to that point. It really is. But, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, I think you're allowed to be in that space of like, well, I fucked up here. Well, that person didn't like that. So move on to the next. And luckily there was no investment there. So I think it just kind of makes you realize, okay, but it did let me remember my triggers because I remembered why I was mad. Just the whole kid thing, like the whole like, oh, my kid, I'm with my kid, so I can't do it. Like really, I can't, you know, really stay too long. Okay, bitch, then why are you at the club? Like, you should be at home with your child, you know? Or when they're like, I'm drunk.
Okay, so like, let me then to jump in, like, because this is one thing I was thinking about, because you only have the one child, right?
That person has the one child, and yes, for me, I only have the one. Thank God.
Okay.
So I had an IUD put in for that reason.
Okay, see, I was gonna ask you, like, what are your plans, or do you have any thoughts about kids in the future? Do you have any plans? What are your thoughts, feelings about that?
So that's crazy that we were talking about marriage and stuff like that. So you know what's fucked up? You could be married and have that as your goal before you have kids and still be like a single mom. You know, like that's at the end of the day, like really not it. Like, so I first was like, you know what? Because of my ex, like he wasn't there for me during the pregnancy. He was still out partying, doing stuff when I was pregnant, and I would go over to his house. So I was like, I didn't get the support I needed. Gave birth, you know. I live by myself, mind you, in Ohio. Like I don't have my family here, so I'm like purely like raw dogging it, like again, like by myself, like. So that's when I learned that I have to be my own support system. But I had contracted, like not contracted, but like I have really great friends. Like I have really good friends who helped me throughout all my situations. But when I gave birth, shortly afterwards, gained weight. I'm like a fat pig now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what place?
No, I mean at the time I gained weight and I didn't realize how much weight I gained, and I didn't realize I'm not going to be my 18, 19-year-old self, 20-something-year-old self body anymore that I'm so confident with. My ex was looking for hot body bitches, you know, at the time that I just gave birth. I'm in postpartum depression. He was looking for hot bitches.
Right.
And I'm like, motherfucker, that's when I realized he wanted to have another kid. My body wouldn't let me have another kid. I think I had like one of those ectopic pregnancies. My body wouldn't let me have another kid with him. We didn't last that long, but still, it made me realize that I'm not going to have any more babies until I feel very secure with the person I'm going to be with. I know they're going to be with me through my pregnancy. I know they're going to be with me afterwards. And that's a minimal medical thing. Like, you're really risking your life to give this man a child, you know, because I didn't realize this at the time, but I could have died, or my baby could have died. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of medical risks that comes with pregnancy, that comes with giving birth. And it's like, if you're going to risk that for somebody, I want it to be somebody worth it.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, I'm not going to have another baby unless it's with somebody that I feel like is worth it, worth giving that baby to and giving like another legacy to, whether or not they have kids already. It depends on like their situation too, but I'm not going to have any more kids and I'm okay with that. My daughter has her cousins. Eventually, if I have, like, I'm giving myself until I'm 40, like, to have another kid if my body allows it. With somebody who's worth it, and that's it. Like, if it's not going to happen by then it's fine. I'm okay with it because I had my one. So, cool with it. But, yeah, so that's where we're at there.
No, I totally understand.
But you're lucky. You have a boy and a girl, right?
I have a boy and a girl. I've been so blessed.
I know. You're so lucky.
I've been so blessed. And they were both happy, healthy kids. Grandshoe, my pregnancies, like you said, they were rough. Dude, they were rough.
How tall are you?
Me, I'm like 4-ish, 5'5"-ish. Yeah, like I'm not very.
You're like average height.
I'm not very tall, but I'm also not like super short. Like I've had super short, but like I'm like in average height, like 5'4", 5'5"-ish.
But you had hard pregnancies.
Oh, it was so hard. It was so hard, especially with my first one. And I know that you haven't had a second one, so I wish almost you did, so we could like talk about like the second one versus the first one. You know what I mean?
I wanted it, but
because like there's differences for sure, and I didn't realize that until I had my second one. But
second is the girl or the boy?
The second one is the girl.
Oh,
yeah,
that's so cute.
Yeah. So my first one is my boy. He's the oldest. He's 6, and my second one is my girl, and she's 4.
Oh, okay.
And with my first one. Like I mentioned before, like I gained 100 pounds, and a lot of it was like water weight. My body like held water in a weird way. I had like, when he put the ultrasound thing on me, I remember him saying like, you have just like a ton of amniotic fluid, like just a ton of it. Like,
okay.
And it was just weird because, like water weighs like a lot, you know what I mean? And it was just the way my body, bodies are weird. Like you said, pregnancy is hard. Oh, yeah. And I was in labor for almost 3 days. With my first one. They almost had to rush me into emergency C-section.
Oh my God.
It was horrifying. He literally looked at me. It was one of the most traumatic things that you said, like postpartum depression. I think that one of the things that triggered me into mine, because I suffered with it really bad with my first one, really bad. And I think that part of it was like I was in labor for so long. They had to induce me. I was 42 weeks and 2 days. Which I shouldn't have ever been that big. And, and I'm kind of like I said, I'm kind of
40 is the max.
40 is the max. And they let me go 42 weeks and 2 days. And they kept watching me, and they'd had me come back in, and they'd scan me, and they go, no, he's okay, blah, blah, blah. Because you know how like you don't always know what exact day you got like pregnant or whatever. So they were like, maybe we were wrong. We don't know. We're just trying to feel out what's right for you. But they let me go to 42 weeks and 2 days. From like the time that they had, and he was so big, he was almost 9 pounds. He was 21 ounces.
Aww, Festus, you're so sweet.
Oh,
he needs to get married.
I love mac and cheese, so if you don't like it, just let me know.
No, I already love it.
That's okay.
I literally already love it.
Wait, did something happen there? Were we even recording that?
It's still